It's raining, and honestly, I'd like to be inside drinking a hot cup of coffee tonight. But I walked out to the shop and I saw these 4 cars sitting here, and it gave me an idea for a video. I think you guys are going to like this one.
It was lean. It was restless. It carried thunder beneath its hood and rebellion within its soul.
Here's 4 different generations of Mustangs, and I want to talk about all of them, and I want to ask the question, what makes a car special? What makes a car loved by so many people? But it's starting to rain, so let's go ahead and get inside. First off, I want to talk about the Gray Ghost. The 65 Mustang started the pony car war. And here's the thing, there was no car before it like it. What happened was GM jumped in right behind this, Mopar, everybody else jumped in. So this kind of started everything, right? This is the grandfather to all the cars that you see here. And I think these cars are obviously loved so much because they started it all in a way. So this car kind of makes sense, right? This one's been in my family for years, so it's got sentimental value. But also to a lot of people in the world, this car just means a lot in general. That's understandable. But what about the other cars? Where do they stand? Next up is going to be the FoxBody Mustang. I know we're skipping a few generations here. The 74 to 78 Mustang, guys, that's just a placeholder, okay? But let's move on to what's so significant about the FoxBody Mustang and why do people love it so much? So here's the deal. We have to understand the FoxBody platform itself was not always known as the FoxBody Mustang. We didn't call it that. The Mustang, it was just the current Mustang, right? Maybe you called this car a 5.0. That was a very common term for this car back in the day. What made these cars so different was really the time that they went fuel injected. So late 85, 86, when these cars went fuel injected is when everything changed. I remember back in the day, the old timers popping the hood of one of these cars and saying, man, what is all that stuff in there? What's all this high-tech garbage? Man, they have ruined these cars with all this stuff. And hell, to be honest with you, I remember looking under the hood thinking the same thing, like, what is all this stuff? Wow, how quickly times changed. Go fast parts started to show up. And wow, just like that, the pony car war was reignited. The FoxBody Mustang was just a different style. It just looked completely different than any of the other generations. They were contenders for pretty much anything else out there. These cars were running with Grand Nationals. The Grand National was the faster car typically, but just a few little mods here, and you had a car that could run with a Grand National, a Corvette, pretty much anything. Even if your buddy built a nice little 305 or 350 and you had a set of heads and a cam, something like that on your car, there was a good chance that you stood a chance. So I think we kind of understand why the FoxBody is so beloved, but not by everybody, just in its little niche community, but still loved. It's because this car rekindled that flame, that competition between GM. Mopar was kind of out of the game at this point, really. Right here, the FoxBody Mustang really is why the market is what it is today. It really started it all. I love these cars. They'll always hold a special place in my heart. I just remember when these things, when the Aero body style come out, that's this front end here, and quarter windows, and there was a little difference in the hood. But Papa T bought his 88 in 88, but it was used, and I fell in love from day one. We had 4i cars up to that point, but I think that's why these cars are so beloved, because they reignited a passion in everybody. Because before the FoxBody, what did we have? We had the Mustang 2, and that was not good. Not good times. And before that, we had the 71 through 73 Mustangs. I love them, but they, at the time, were not very well received. Let's just be honest. Now, over here, you're looking at the red-headed stepchild of the Mustang world. Second to the Mustang 2, if I'm being honest. But still, nonetheless, this was the least popular car outside of that one whenever they were released. Now, I'm old enough to remember the day that Papa T brought home his brand spanking new 1994 Teal Mustang GT. It was December the 3rd of 93 is when he brought his home. And I remember seeing these cars in the magazines. What was it? Schwarzenegger design and Stallone, I think it was. And I thought to myself, man, that's cool. It kind of looks like a Ford Probe, but it's cool. So think of this generation car in this way. You got a family that's known to be rough and tough and scrappy, right? Everybody in that family will fight your ass at the drop of a hat. But there's this one, the last born pops out, and he's just different. He's not a fighter, he's a lover. Here's the thing that a lot of people didn't know about him though. He's actually pretty damn badass. He just chose not to fight, and he looked like he didn't know how to fight. Like this car, right? A wolf in sheep's clothing in a way. The only ding, if you will, against these cars is they were a little heavier. Outside of that, this car was very capable back in the day of handling business, but it didn't look like it, did it? It looked like a Ford Probe or something kind of like that, right? Very round, very different looking car. And they weren't taken seriously. A lot of people did not like this look of car. And here's why. See, this is where it comes back around to stance and wheels and tires can make or break a car. This car looks completely different when you lower it and you put a nice set of wheels and tires on it, right? Well, Ford had a bad habit when these cars were new of jacking everything up and putting skinny ass wheels on them and burying them up in the fender wells. And that people just didn't like that, right? I didn't like it for one, but back then we didn't have a lot of wheel options, right? So we just kind of had to deal with what we had. There was a couple of wheel options out there, but not a whole lot. Set of Cobra R's maybe? Yeah, eventually you could get some of those. But this was just not a very well received car, so it kind of got overlooked, overshadowed by its cousin over here, the FoxBody. The FoxBody was just more rough and tough. It was looking for a fight, and everybody knew that it was a badass, but they wanted to try. A little more sophisticated, a little more put together, if you will. But underneath all of that nice Dapper Dan suit and tie look, it was rowdy. That kind of sums up the issue with these cars. It was a little futuristic in comparison. So why is it now that everybody loves these cars? Well, there's a couple different reasons in my opinion. They're cheaper than the FoxBody typically. And honestly, nowadays we have better wheel and tire options and suspension options. And that's what changes the look and the feel and the demeanor of these cars. You could ride around in a stock 91, 92, 93 Mustang GT or LX with 16-inch pony wheels, tinted windows on it, and it's going to look good. It's still going to look good to this day. You can't really ride around with a 94, 95 Mustang with the 16-inch version of their pony wheels, stock height, and it looked good. It just doesn't work these days, right? So these cars needed to be dropped and a set of wheels and tires. Well, my point is these days, all of that stuff is readily available for you, and the cars just look completely different. Plus, obviously, people are just aware that they're basically a FoxBody Mustang platform now. Anything you can do to the FoxBody, you can do to these cars. So they're just kind of coming back around. Plus, they were so overlooked back in the day that I think people are like, damn, I never really noticed those cars. That's actually a pretty good looking car. Let me give you an example. Granted, this car is very dirty. Look at the difference though. Well, you can't see the other car, but look, like the wheel is back here, guys. It's back here. Look at the height of these cars. That's the way they would have came from the factory. You look down, you don't even see any wheel. Like check that out. That's horrible fitment, right? Let's move on to this behemoth of a car right here. What makes the S550 so popular now? Well, I think we all know what that is, and that would be the Coyote engine, because that Coyote engine put Ford back on the map. See, Ford was always known for doing more with less, while Chevy was out there with their 350s and 400 small blocks. Most of the guys had to deal with a 302 based engine in their cars. Now, you could slap a 351 in it, but none of our cars, like the FoxBody or the SN, came with 351s. So we just kind of had to deal with it. So we had to get creative on making power. Now, when the Coyote came back out, oh boy, it started to raise some eyebrows, but it took a little while though, because to start with, people were like, it's just some mod motor, right? No big deal. By the time the S550 platform come out with this styling, the world knew about the 5.0. They knew it was back. And now the car had a new look, way more aggressive in my opinion, and nasty. So the S550 rekindled that fire, that love once again. Hear me out, y'all. It's true. The 65 started it. It kind of died off for a little while. And then the FoxBody picked it back up, reminded everybody that Ford was still in the game and everybody else had to catch up. The SN95, it fell off with it. I'm going to be honest with you. Nobody was worried about an SN95 until the 4-valve stuff. But we're not talking about that. It still wasn't considered a muscle car. Nobody looked at it that way. But then these come out. This car, in my opinion, if you're asking me, rejuvenated that. The styling, the aggressiveness of it, everything about it was like, damn, Ford's back. Ford's back, and they're back with a vengeance. These cars were known even back then to make big power when they first come out. People had already started to figure out the Coyote. The war had already started back before the S550. I'm fully aware of that. But I think for a lot of people, the aggressive nature, that old school kind of vibe, but with some new technology, like some cutting edge stuff, was kind of missing, in my opinion, for me. The minute I saw one of these cars for the first time, I had to have it. I knew it. I said, I got to have one. These are the FoxBodies of today, if I'm being honest with you. As bad as I hate to say it, I know a lot of you say, well, what about the SN? That should be the FoxBody of today. It's kind of missed its mark. It will pick up in popularity. But what I mean by the FoxBody of its day, when the FoxBody Mustang come out, it didn't take too long before it started running the streets and setting new records, and new parts were built. New companies were built from the ground up to support the FoxBody Mustang platform. Guess what? That's what these cars did. There's been a lot of people get rich off of this platform, off of the Coyote platform and these newer cars. It rejuvenated everything. But these cars are now out in the street handling business just like the FoxBody did. All the young guys want this car. All the boomers look at it like, new technology. I'm kind of one of those. Even though I'm Gen X, I'm kind of like, And here's the thing, guys. Hear me out. I like these cars. I love them. I drive it pretty regularly, to be honest with you. With a car like this, you're just kind of along for the ride. And Ford's taking you for a hell of a ride. Don't misunderstand. But with something like the FoxBody or any of these other generations out here, you have to drive the car. And to me, as much as I love this body style car here, I think the real Mustang stopped in 1995, in my opinion. You guys tell me, why do you think all of these different generations are popular? And why do people love them? Why is it that you think now all of a sudden people are starting to pay attention to the SN95? All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. Think about it. And as always, thanks for watching.
It was lean. It was restless. It carried thunder beneath its hood and rebellion within its soul. And the people looked upon it and said, surely, this is no ordinary car. For it awakened something sleeping inside the streets of America. Young men dreamed beside it. Gas stations became gathering places, and the great pony car war was born. Then rose the rivals from distant lands of Detroit, bearing names like Camaro, Challenger, and Firebird. And the roads became battlefields of cubic inches and smoke. But time passed, and the Mustangs of the early 70s grew heavy in spirit. Their bodies stretched long like great ships upon the sea. They wore the burden of regulation and fear. And though they still carried the horse upon their grill, their fire dimmed in the eyes of the people. For the streets no longer trembled before them. Then came a new child from Dearborn, small in stature, boxed in shape, light upon its feet. And the people mocked it at first. What is this? They asked. Yet Ford Mustang FoxBody came not to impress kings, but to fight. It was scrappy. It was affordable. It welcomed every wrench, every late-night mechanic, every dreamer with the toolbox. And the aftermarket rose around it like cities built beside a river. Headers were built for it, camshafts were carved for it. Suspensions, blowers, gears, intakes, nitrous kits. Entire companies were born because of the Fox. For the FoxBody did not belong only to Ford. It belonged to the people. And once again the pony car war burned across the land. Then entered the overlooked sun, Ford Mustang, SN95. combed his hair neat. He dressed cleaner than his older brother. He carried a little dapper Dan in his spirit, and many mistook his polish for weakness. They said, he is too refined to fight. But hidden beneath his calm was the heart of a wolf. For while others laughed, the SN95 quietly learned the ways of horsepower. Superchargers screamed upon its back, mod motors sang through long tube headers, and cobras walked among men like prophets of boost. Yet still the world overlooked him, until time revealed the truth. And the people finally said, we judged him too early. Then came a new resurrection. Ford Mustang S197 returned the Mustang to its roots, calling back the spirit of the old fastback. And after it arose Ford Mustang S550, bearing the mighty Ford Coyote engine. And the earth shook once more. For the Coyote came not quietly, it answered boost with fury. It answered RPM with song, and it carried Ford back into battle against all who challenged it. Then the pony car war was rekindled anew, and the people witnessed a strange thing. Ford doing more with less again. Smaller budgets, smaller cylinders than before, less praise from the crowds. Yet somehow, through grit, innovation, and stubborn fight, the blue oval kept rising. And now the streets echo once more with the sound of coyotes whining, superchargers, two-step launch control, and the cries of men chasing 10-second time slips. And the old fastback smiles from the heavens above. For the war, it started, still burns.